Well, hello again, and thanks for returning to my Classic Dirt Bike TV channel as we continue to take a look at the racing highlights from the Scottish Classic Round 4 event that was held at Slamannan near Falkirk. So we're going to go straight into our next race, which is race 9, and this is the third race for the combined pre-1968s up to and over 350cc and the pre-1975s up to and over 300cc. So as we take a look at the front runners, it looks like Darrell Wiley has made quite a good start there, number 22 on the 4-stroke Honda machine. Second position is number 293, that's Andrew King on the HIS 2-stroke Stormer bike. As you can see, a very short lap here at Slamannan as these bikes are already coming round to complete lap 1. As we take a look at number 112, that's Andrew Johnson, who's still going very well there on his British made Dot. So on lap 2, it looks like Andrew King is now your new race leader on the HIS Stormer. He's been chased by number 98 Liston Bell on the big 4-stroke 500 Jawa. I think Liston's already won a couple of races here this afternoon, so he's certainly going well on that big 4-stroke thumper. There's Darrell Wiley in the 22 and 3rd position. That was Callum Sangster going through there on the twin port CZ. Number 29 is Derek McCauley, just going past there on the Bull Taco. Just coming into shot there is number 13, and that's Jim Allison riding the 1974 CCM. So Andrew King there, number 293, still going well on the HIS Stormer. And this just gives you a rough idea of just how quick these bikes were way back in the day, but looks like Liston Bell is out horsepowered Andrew King for the lead of this race, so it's now number 98 Liston Bell on the 4-stroke methanol burning Jawa race bike. 293 just going past is Andrew King, and we're taking a look at number 13. That's Jim Allison on the 1974 CCM, and as I said earlier in the last video, I'm pretty sure that this is an original bike that Jim's riding. There are a few copies of these 1974 bikes out there, but I'm sure that's an original CCM that Jim's currently racing. Number 246 is Ian Ward. Ian's riding another British classic, and that's his nice classic Villiers. So it looks like Liston Bell is well on his way to another race win here this afternoon. Number 29 there is Derek McCauley on his 250 Bull Taco Persang. One of the very few Bull Taco riders that are racing currently with the Scottish Classic Club. So there's your race leader coming round to lap Andrew Johnson on his Dot. So this has been a good start here by number 98 Liston Bell, who in fact is just about to cross the line to take the win in this race. I think it's only about 4 laps for these classic bikes, so they're very short races. There's your second placed rider. It's going to be number 293 Andrew King. As we take a look at number 40, and that's another one of the nice bikes that we had a look at in our paddock walkabout. That's number 40 Colin Flockhart on that lovely Shenny BSA machine. So Colin Flockhart coming round to complete his last and final lap. Now there's another couple of classic racing legends there. That's Dougie Meek on the left, and Jake Whitelaw there on the right, two semi-retired Scottish classic racers. Okay, so we're going to press on now with race 10, and this is the third and final race for the pre-1984 250s class. Not a big lineup of riders for this class, but nevertheless there's still enough to make a decent race of it. So our race starter, Stuart Riddle, lets the bikes loose from the line, and it's a good start by number 81 again, Chris Cannon on the RM 250 Suzuki. And Chris again has already had a good start to his afternoon's racing. I think he's won a couple of races already here this afternoon, so he's certainly off to the best of starts in this race 3. Second position is number 67, that's Mike Tweddle on the CR250 Honda Red Rocket. And as you can see, the weather much better than it was earlier in the morning. That low mist and fog is now lifted, so it's still got overcast skies, but nevertheless it's a cracking day for this kind of classic racing. So it's still number 81, Chris Cannon, who leads at number 67, Mike Tweddle. Currently in third place there is number 27, that's Mike Doby, and Mike's also riding a 250 Honda Red Rocket, and Mike's another one of the riders who will be heading off to the Motocross the Nations event that will be coming up in the Czech Republic near the end of September. So there's your race leader coming round to complete lap 2. It's number 81, Chris Cannon. As we take a look at number 85, that's Ian McKean on his Yamaha. Looks like Andy Malek's got some mechanical issues with his Montesa 250, so hopefully Andy can get that sorted and get back on track. So it's still Chris Cannon, your race leader, from number 67, Mike Tweddle on the 250 Red Rocket. You can just see Mike Tweddle there coming into shot. Third place is number 27, Mike Doby. Oh, and just in case you're wondering what that car is doing in the middle of the racetrack, that in fact is the two young ladies who do the lap scoring that are inside that car. So this is just to keep them comfortable and to help protect them against any bad weather that might come along over the course of the day, because this of course is old school type racing. We don't have fancy things like transponders on the bikes and computers to log your track times and lap times. This is the nostalgic way that they did it back in the day, with a simple lap scoring spreadsheet and a pencil or pen to record the rider's progress. So it's still number 81, Chris Cannon, as he comes round to complete another lap. So thus far this has been a very good afternoon for Chris on the Suzuki. As we take a look at number 38, that's Chad Stevenson. I think Chad's maybe had some problems on the track. He seems to be quite well down the pack at this stage. So we're up with our race leaders once again, and it's still currently at number 81, Chris Cannon, who leads at number 67, Mike Tweddle on the 250 Honda Red Rocket. So Chris is coming up to start his last and final lap of this 250 race. It's still Mike Tweddle there, number 67, in second position, as we take a look at number 85. That's Ian McKean there on his YZ 250 Yamaha, and number 37 is David Herdman on his white Honda Rocket. So it looks like it could be win at number 3 for this man here as he comes up to take the checkered flag. So it's going to be 3 wins of 3 starts for number 81, Chris Cannon. And I don't know what's happened to number 67, Mike Twardle, but I think it's going to be number 27 who comes up the hill to take that second place. That's going to be Mike Doby. And there you see another 2 more racing legends there. That's multiple Scottish Twin Shock champion Paul Chiappa there without the shirt. And next to Paul is Sam Sibbald, who used to race against Paul when they both raced as schoolboys in the Scottish Formula Bantam Club. Okay, so we're going to crack on now with race number 11, and this is the pre-1977s and pre-1989 125s. So just waiting on our official starter, Stuart Riddle, letting the bikes loose from the line. It looks like that man again, number 416, Mike McClurty's made another blinder of a start off the line. It also looks like James Newby's made a good start there on the little Kijiva 125. So as we pick the riders up as they begin at lap 1, it's still number 416, Mike McClarty, who leads number 24, Sam Sibbald. In third place, it's number 9, Lewis Bell, who has now passed Sam Sibbald for that track position. So as they come up to complete lap 1, it's still this man here, number 416, Mike McClurty. Second is number 9, Lewis Bell. Third is Sam Sibbald. Fourth is number 5, James Newby on the Kijiva. Number 254 is John Miller on the Honda CR 125. That's Gillian Murray just making her way through there on the 2-stroke Can-Am. So we are currently looking at number 9, Lewis Bell, who, as I said previously, is just back racing once again after a 2-year absence due to a shoulder injury that he received at Drumlandrig Castle a couple of years back. So it's good to see Lewis back up and running at the front of the pack once again. Coming round in third position is still number 5, James Newby on the Kijiva. Sam Sibbald is just making his way through there on the TT500 Yamaha. Number 254 is John Miller. Number 55 is Stuart Newby, and Stuart's also on one of those little Kijiva bikes. And that was number 171 just making his way across the line there. That was Brian Atkinson on his MR 250. So it's still number 416, Mike McCarthy, at the front of the pack. There's the leader of the pre-77s part of this race. That was number 9, Lewis Bell. There's your second placed man in the pre-77s. That's Sam Sibbald. And we're looking at John Miller, going very well there on his little CR 125 Honda. So this is another rider that's had a very good afternoon thus far. Number 416, Mike McClurty. He's still managing to keep that little 125 2-stroke ahead of Lewis. But oops, that looks like Brian Hamilton just taking a little tumble off his 4-stroke Yamaha there, but it's still Mike McClurty who leads this man there, number 9, Lewis Bell on the CCM. Number 5 in second place in the 125s is James Newby on the Kijiva. So we are currently looking at number 154, and this is the one and only lady rider that's riding with the Scottish Classic Club this afternoon. That's Gillian Murray there on her 250 Can-Am. Gillian going very well at this stage, but it looks like Mike McClurty has stalled his little 125 Honda going into the corner, so That makes this man here your new race leader in the pre-77 class. So it looks like it's going to be a win for this man here, number 9, Lewis Bell, in the pre-77s. So that will make this man here, number 5, James Newby, the winner of the 125 class. And it looks like Mike McClurty has managed to get his little Honda up and running once again, as we take a look at number 254, John Miller, crossing the line to complete his race. So that nicely brings us on to race 12. This will be the pre-1984's over 250cc class, and this will be the last and final race before the half-time lunch break. So once again, our race starter, Stuart Riddle, lets the bikes loose from the line. Looks like Paul Chiappa's made a good start into the turn 1, but it looks like Craig Smith has already opened up a substantial gap on the multiple Scottish Twin Shock champion. So Craig Smith again is off to an absolute flyer on his Michael. And Craig's another one of the riders that's already won 2 races here this afternoon. So he's again off to a flyer in this race. So the second place man is still number 2, Paul Chiappa, and I think it looks like it's David Loudon, number 75, who's currently in third position. So there's number 2 in second place, Paul Chiappa, making his way through. David Loudon is currently in third. Fourth position, I think that was Chris Rogerson making his way through there. Number 6 is Andrew King, and Andrew's out on Charlie Robertson's lovely Matisse Matchless. Looks like Kevin Smith still having a bit of trouble with his Maiko, but no such problems for this man here at the front of the pack, number 25, Craig Smith, who looks very relaxed at the front there, just no pressure at all. So Craig absolutely cruising in this third and final race before the lunch break. But again, please feel free to leave any kind of comments or feedback about any of my videos that you watch here on my CDB TV channel, because it's always good to hear what viewers think of my content, because it does take myself a lot of time, expense and effort to bring you this kind of content. And as you're aware, my channel is now completely free of advertising, so I no longer make a single penny from my efforts on YouTube. So we're catching up with our second placed rider, number 2, Paul Chiappa, who was the ex-owner of Dunfermline Motorcycles, but is now currently retired. So that gives Paul plenty of time to fool around on his old Michael motocrosser. And at 65 years old, you can see that he's still a force to be reckoned with when he's racing these big 492 strokes. So there's Paul Chiappa crossing the line in second position. Third place is this man here, number 75, David Loudon, on the YZ490, and currently in fourth place it's number 511, that's Chris Rogerson. Number 43 is Andy Malik on the 414 Montesa. Number 87, just going through there, is Darren Brown, or Jinky as he's known to his friends, and Darren's riding that lovely 79 400 Maiko. So it's still at number 25, Craig Smith, your race leader. Craig's still got a decent lead over this man here in second position, number 2, Paul Chiappa. So So that's these guys coming round to complete another lap. I think it's 5 or 6 laps for these open class bikes as we take a look at number 6 again. That's Andrew King, who was riding the HIS Stormer bike in an earlier race, and Andrew's now riding Charlie Robertson's lovely 500 single cylinder matchless that we had a look at in our paddock walkabout video. Looks like Kevin's having more problems with that Michael, so maybe you have to try and get somebody to take a look at that bike during the lunch break. So here's your race leader coming round to start his last and final lap. It's number 25 Craig Smith, who leads at number 2 Paul Chiappa. Both of these guys, of course, riding the big two-stroke Michaels. Just making his way through there is number 341. That's Alistair Aitken from Oban on the west coast of Scotland. So Alistair's had a bit of travelling to do to get to this track here at Slamannan. So this young man here has certainly been the star of the show here at Slamannan this afternoon. Number 25 Craig Smith, he's currently on his way to notch up win number 3. He's having a quick look at the back there just to see where Paul Chiappa is, and Craig is absolutely cruising to win race number 3, and it's going to be Paul Chiappa who's going to cross the line in second position. So we're just looking to see who's going to take that third place, and it is indeed number 75 David Loudon, with Chris Rogerson in fourth. Okay, so now we've moved on into the second part of the day's racing programme, and this is the first race after the lunch break. So these are now all of the age-related races, which are now based on the age of the rider and not the age or class of the bike that he or she rides, as we had, of course, in the first part of the day's programme. So we're currently looking at number 125, that's Ian Stainton on the Clues Stroker. So this will be race 13, and this is the pre-77s over and under 40s, plus the over 50s, and including the 125s as well. So you're going to see a quite good combination of the bigger 4-stroke bikes racing against the little 125 two-strokers as well. So these age-related races tend to be quite good in the second part of the race programme. So everything's looking good. We're just waiting again on our official starter, Stuart Riddle, getting the thumbs up from the travelling marshal to say that the track is clear and all of the marshals are now in place. So looks like we're good to go. So as the riders leave the line, Mike McClurty's made a good start. John Miller's also made a good start on his 125. But as they begin lap 1, it's Mike McClurty who's your race leader. That's a pretty quick bike, that little 125 of Mike McClurty's. I think it's a 1988 or even a 1989 125, but it's a quick little machine. There's your second place man, number 89 Liston Bell, on the big smoky 4-stroke Jawa machine. So a nice combination of the 125 and the big single cylinder 4-strokes. Number 171 coming through there is Brian Atkinson on the MR250 Honda. Number 40 again is Colin Flockhart on the Eric Shaney BSA machine. Just behind Colin is number 154, that's Gillian Muri. So it's Mike McClurty, your race leader, and it always amazes me how this little bike can keep much bigger machines, much bigger four-strokers behind them. You've got to remember this is just a little 125 two-stroke, but in the hands of Mike McClurty it's a very fast little bike and quite nimble as well. As you can see, there's your second place man, Liston Bell, giving that big four-stroke Jawa the message as he heads up to cross the line. Number 6 again is Andrew King on the lovely Charlie Robertson Matchless. Number 55 there is Stuart Newby, and that's another one of the lovely Kijiva bikes that we're going to be featuring here on CDB TV shortly. But looks like we've got a couple of stoppers on the track. Number 40 is Colin Flockhart. It looks like Gillian Murray's got more problems with Can-Am 250, but as I said, no such worries for this man here, Mike McClurty, who's still buzzing around the Slamannan racetrack on his 125 Honda. Number 6 again is Andrew King on Charlie Robertson's Matchless Matisse. Number 22 on the left there is Darryl Wiley. Number 171 again is Brian Atkinson, going very well on that MR 250. It looks like Gillian's heading towards a DNF with her Can-Am, talking to her dad there, David, who in himself used to be quite a good racer back in the day. So that's number 416, Mike McClurty, completing another racing lap as we take a look at the battle here between number 171 Brian Atkinson on the MR 250 and number 22 Darryl Wiley on the four-stroke Honda. But this is that little MR 250 we had a look at in our paddock walkabout, and as you can see, it's a very quick little machine, this 250 of Brian Atkinson's. Looks like Collins managed to get the Shenny BSA up and running once again. But it looks like Mike McClurty's coming round to take yet another win as he heads towards the checkered flag. Liston Bells also went well on the big Jawa, but number 5 James Newby is challenging for that finishing position on the little Kijiva 125. Number 246 is Ian Ward, riding an old British classic Villiers, and number 112 again is Andrew Johnson, still going quite well on his vintage Dot Scrambler. So we are taking a look at number 254, John Miller, as he crosses the line. So we're off again in race 14. This is the pre-77s and over 60s and 65. So these are basically the veterans of the Scottish Classic Club, and it's been a good start by number 24 Sam Sibbald on one of his TT 500s. And you remember we had a look at Sam's spare TT when we did our paddock walkabout video. Second place is number 118, that's Callum Sangster, and he's riding Kenny Harper's Twinport CZ. And I can still see Gillian Murray there parked at the bottom of the track, so she's been unable to recover her Can-Am back to the paddock as yet, so hopefully she'll get that done quite soon. So we're looking at our race leader, number 24 Sam Sibbald on the TT 500. Second is Callum Sangster on the Twinport CZ. Third is Jim Allison, number 13 on the CCM. Number 14 is Ryan Hamilton, just going through there. So we're looking at Sam Sibbald, number 24, a rider that's vastly experienced. I think Sam's been riding for more than 50 years from schoolboy level, and even into his 60s he's still racing these bikes. Number 118 is Callum Sangster, and Callum is riding a borrowed bike that he's borrowed from Kenny Harper, because Callum's going to be racing this bike at the forthcoming Motocross the Nations in the Czech Republic at the end of September. Another rider that's been going quite well this afternoon is this man here, number 13, Jim Allison, on the 1974 CCM. Number 14 is Brian Hamilton. So there's your race leader. It's currently number 24, Sam Sibbald. As I said, a rider with many years of experience. In fact, I'm pretty sure I used to watch Sam racing in the schoolboy level when he raced against Paul Chiappa in the Scottish Formula Bantam Club as a schoolboy. There's your second place man, just making his way through. Whoops! Jeez, he beeps. Callum nearly lost control there going across the line. So Sam Sibbald certainly looking very comfortable at the front of this race, so he's coming round to start his last and final lap of this race. So I think Sam's got quite a decent lead to second place man Callum Sangster. So that's Sam starting his last and final lap. There's your second place man Callum Sangster, number 118. Jim Allison again going well there in third position on that Alan Clues 4-stroke CCM. So it looks like it's been just another day at the office for this man here at the front of the pack, number 24, Sam Sibbald, and Sam's coming up to take the win. I think this will be his first win of the day, so it's been a very good ride here by the veteran racer number 24, Sam Sibbald. And it's going to be Callum Sangster who's going to come up to cross the line in that coveted second position. So that brings us quite nicely onto race 15. And this is the first race for the pre-1984 under and over 40s and over 50s. So it looks like we're good to go again. Our race starter Stuart Riddle has got the thumbs up from the clerk of the course. Looks like Craig Smith has made a good start. Darren Brown is up there on the 400 Michael. So it's been quite a good start by Darren Brown on the 400 Michael. Jinky, as he's known to his pals, but as the riders begin to start lap one, it's still number 25, Craig Smith. Second is number 67, that's Mike Twaddle, and number 38 is Chad Stevenson. Both of these riders are riding these CR250 Honda two-stroke red rockets. I think both of those bikes are 1979 models, but this man here, number 67's had quite a good afternoon thus far, and he's currently in second position as the riders come round to complete lap one. In third place, it's still number 38, Chad Stevenson. The rest of the pack making their way through. That's Brian Atkinson doing well on that MER 250 Honda. So up at the front, it's still Craig Smith, number 25, on the German Michael. Craig's already won 4 races here this afternoon, so he's certainly been the star of the show here at Slamannan, so he's looking comfortable, which could be possibly race number 5 if he manages to get this race in the bag. So Craig is coming round to complete another racing lap. Second is still number 67, Mike Twaddle, on the 250 Red Rocket. Third place, it looks like that's Mike van der Meer riding Andy Mallock's 250 on Tessa. Number 87 just going through there is Darren Brown, but it looks like Chad Stevenson has got some kind of problem there with his Honda 250 Red Rocket. He's parked track side, so that'll drop Chad well down the pack. So hopefully Chad will manage to get that bike up and running once again and maybe get back into this race. But it's still this man here, number 25, Craig Smith, as he makes his way around to complete another racing lap. It's still number 67, Mike Tweddle in second position on the 250 Red Rocket. So Mike's doing very well to keep up with that bigger Michael just ahead of him. There's number 17, that's Mike van der Meer riding Andy Mallock's 250 Montesa. It looks like Darren Brown has got some kind of issue with his Michael, and he was running quite good at the front of the pack. So Darren's another rider that's got mechanical issues. And actually, it is a bit of a pity that we don't have something like smell-o-vision when you're watching this kind of racing on your TV or mobile device, because when you're standing track side here filming this kind of racing, you do smell all kinds of exotic aromas, especially from those two-strokes when they're burning their oil and petrol mix, because they have quite a nice sweet smell to them. So it must be a different kind of two-stroke oil that these bikes are using in these machines nowadays. So there's your race leader just going through to start his last and final lap. It's Craig Smith, number 25, your race leader, with number 67, Mike Tweddle, just behind. And there's your third placed man, number 43, or number 17 is his real race number. That's Mike van der Meer riding Andy Mallock's lovely 250 Montesa Capra. But it's been another fantastic performance from this man here, number 25, Craig Smith, and it looks like he's heading towards win number 5 of the day. So Craig's won every single race that he's taken part in this afternoon, so he's just this last turn to go to notch up win number 5. Now in second place, just making his way through, it looks like it's number 116 in second position, but I think he could be a tail ender. I think it's Mike Tweddle who is going to take that second place position. And I'm pretty sure that this is the battle for third and fourth place between number 17, Mike van der Meer on the 250 Montesa, and number 327, that's Stuart Muirhead, who's going to cross the line on his 1980 250 Michael. So that quite nicely brings us around to our final race for this part 2 racing highlights from Slamannan. This is race 16. It's the pre-1984, aged 58 years and over. So it looks like we're good to go as the riders leave the line. Looks like Chris Cannon's made another excellent start from the gate, number 81 there on the 1983, I think it is, RM 250 Suzuki. And as I said, this is of course part 2, but we still have 8 races remaining still to feature, and those will all be posted in our final video, in our part 3 clip, which I hope to compile and post in the next few days. But as I said, this is the last and the final outdoor event that I'll be covering for 2024. But of course, throughout the winter closed racing season, we'll still be bringing you more of those nice old classic dirt bikes that I know you all appreciate. So that's another good reason to subscribe to Classic Dirt Bike TV. So as our leaders cross the line to complete lap 1, it's still Chris Cannon, your race leader, from number 75, David Loudon, in second position. And David Loudon's riding that YZ490 Yamaha that you can see there. So David is another one of the top riders in the pre-1984 class with the Scottish Classic Racing Club. And as I remember, I think David was our club champion a few years back. So as you can see, he's still riding very well on his 490 Yamaha. So that's David Loudon currently in second position. Mike Doby is in third. Number 511 there is Chris Rogerson in fourth position. But this man here, number 81, Chris Cannon, has been another rider that's been quite a dominant force in this round 4 event this afternoon. Chris Cannon's ridden extremely well on this two-stroke RM Suzuki, and he's currently at the sharp end of the pack as he makes his way round to complete another racing lap. So Chris Cannon again riding very well on that Suzuki. Still David Loudon in second position. I think Chris Rogerson has now moved up into third. As we take a look at number 791. That's Stephen McWhirter on the 1980 440 Michael. That's a bike that was identical to the machine that I rode myself about 350 years ago, but the less said about that, the better. So here's the battle at the front between number 81 Chris Cannon's Suzuki and number 75 David Loudon on the 490 Yamaha. So this is quite a good contest here, building up for this last race of part 2. So Chris Cannon crossing the line again as we take another look at number 791 Stephen McWhirter and his 1980 Michael. These 1980 bikes weren't exactly the greatest handling machines, but they did have a nice sweet piston port two-stroke engine, as I remember. But as you can see, number 75 David Loudon has now passed Chris Cannon for the lead of this race. So David Loudon has certainly got the hurry up on the YZ 490s. He comes round to complete another lap. So David Loudon going very well currently at this point in the proceedings. So we're taking a look now at number 37. That's David Herdman, and David's just coming round to cross the line to start his last and final lap of this race. So David still going quite well there on that white Honda 250 Red Rocket. So we're going to jump back with our race leader as he heads towards the checkered flag. So this is going to be a well-deserved first place finish for this man here, number 75 David Loudon. So David's going to cross the line to take his first win of the day, and it's going to be number 81 Chris Cannon, who's going to cross the line in second position. So there you have it. That's about all that went down in part 2 from Slamannan. But don't forget to rejoin us here on Classic Dirt Bike TV when we will bring you all of the final races from this round 4 event. So for the time being, it's goodbye for now.